All right, we are getting ready to hop into the Alpha X Team League. Let me go ahead and pull up a couple of things. This is going to be on a 2-minute delay, so those of you who I just rated to this channel, I will catch you soon. Let's go ahead and get this going here. Slash join clan. Let's see if I can find Bibs in here. Bibs, you live? No. Okay. I will just have to look for it this way. ATL Alpha Team League. Bum, bum, bum. Nope, that's not the one. This is the semi-pro North American. So this is the Alpha X Spiders. So this is the team. I'm not actually, so I just got signed up for this team because I can no longer play in the other one. Here we go. Slash join. There we go. All right. Oh, and I should go over here and do this. Bum, bum, bum. Chat. Slash title. Oh, thank you so much, Zeno, for changing that title for me. I was just about to do it, so we are all set. Bum, bum, bum. So first up on the docket here, let me get some of this StarCraft music going. And let me make sure that I've changed some of my settings here. So let's turn that down a smidge. And we'll go ahead and we'll make sure that we've got the right interface on. And we'll turn off mouse scrolling. All sorts of fun things here for you all. And then I guess technically we should go in here and change our graphics. Well, but we can't change all the graphic things, so that'll have to be next time. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so this first game is going to be on Golden Wall. And this is going to be Okram and Selferof. Selferof. I think it's supposed to be like Sephiroth, but it's like Selferof. I can dig it. I can get behind it. Looks like the lobby will be made shortly. Boop, boop, doop, boop, boop. All right, friends. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Okay, so we have Sephiroth in here. I'm in here. Okram is about to be here. This is going to be a ZVP, and as the title indicates, this is Alpha X versus Th3Bad in the North American Semi-Pro division of the Alpha Team League. Looks like we are ready to rock and roll here. I don't know, Zeno. I did just drop back down below 4.9, although I guess it's within the past 2 months. Oh. Melodies in here. That's good to see. All right. Looks like she's going to go ahead and watch via the stream as opposed to in-match, so you have a slight 2-minute delay. Do we have a thing set up right here? Boom. Done. All right. So it looks like our players are just about ready to start. Let's do... Oh, the Vinny was downloading that. Okay, that's the co-caster probably for the other side. And we should be starting any moment here as soon as the host wants to click go. Looks like it doesn't really matter. All right, let's go ahead and get this game rolling here. This is on Golden Wall between, I'm going to just call this Sephiroth. I'll probably call it Sephiroth at some point. Actually, it's probably supposed to be pronounced Sephiroth. It's just like spelled funnily. So we're going to go with Sephiroth. Sephiroth, not TH, it's an F at the end, Sephiroth. And Okram. This is Alpha X versus Th3Bad. And here we go, friends. Should be climbing in shortly. There we go. Loading bars are catching up. Come on, Sephiroth. You can do it. All right. And we are in. Okay, well, so this is Golden Wall. And spawning here on the bottom left-hand side, the red Protoss player representing Th3Bad, it is Sephiroth. All right, sounds good, Sippy Cup. We will catch you later. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side, representing Alpha X, it is your blue Zerg player. It is Okram. So, see a pretty early probe here coming across. It's kind of like the Zest timing to try to like block the hatchery. But I think with the map's geometry, I think this drone should be able to drop the hatch in time. Yeah, okay, it gets down without getting blocked. But nothing too crazy. Actually, that might have just been a pylon scout. I wasn't super paying attention to when this probe left. But looking at it, it probably was the pylon. It wasn't the one of your first workers like Zest likes to do. So far, everything pretty standard. Okram going for that hatch gas pool. Boom, 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 1, 2, 3. And looks like on the other side here, Sephiroth going to come down here. We'll see if it's going to be a Nexus first. That's what it appears to be. So we should see the core come down in a moment. And then probe production will resume once that core drops. Probe's going to come hang out up here. Check and see. All right. We got a third coming. Not yet. Obviously, with the pool down, it's going to be a little bit, little while before this comes out. Everything shaping up to be a pretty standard fare. I like this, actually. Leaving the probe here to scout, make sure they don't take the cheeky gold base as the follow-up. Overlord flying back over Just make sure everything's here, and then it's gonna hide atop its perch. Dangly little legs. No one can see him. Adept coming out. It's gonna make its way. Probably gonna hold here for a sec. Maybe start to go across to scout. But you want to keep the lings from getting in. So probably gonna sit here maybe until the stalker comes out. No, he's actually gonna send it right away. So the Shade will see one ling. Actually, Shade's past the ling. The Stalker will be out soon. Third hatchery coming down for our Zerg player. We've got this probe still just making sure the gold isn't being taken. And now the Adept's going to go check that location up there. A couple lings get in and get a full scout off. Seeing the Robo facility as well as the Twilight. Being a little bit annoying. Shouldn't get any damage here. Stalker, oh, okay. Well, Selfer off. Okay. Does end up pulling. A little bit of an overpull to kill the ling, but that's fine. A couple lings coming up here. This Adept. Ooh, actually going straight for the recall. These lings didn't have speed, so not sure if that was 100% needed, but it definitely makes sure that the Adept gets home safely. We have a lot of lings coming out, and actually looking at this, there's no more drone production happening. All the drones have been pulled off gas, and this is going to be a big ling bust here. There's one Stalker, and Warp Gate's about to finish, but there's only one pylon powering this. We'll see if a sentry comes out. Okay, Stalker does go down. We have a lot of lings, and ling production continuing to come up. A couple more Adepts get warped in on the backside here. Follow-up wall. But these gateways are actually starting to get kind of low here. All the shields haven't finished, but with these Adepts, I'm surprised we don't see any shield batters coming down. Okay, now there's a lot of surface area on this core. You're going to be able to just kill this core outright, and then can actually get a huge amount of surface area on this gateway if the lings decided to run in. And that's what's going to happen. These Adepts do have to hide here. The lings are going to meat grinder up against them. There's another backup wall here. The lings really should focus down this gateway or this pylon. Looks like they're actually splitting their attention a little bit. I think that's wise. And now all of the lings are going to flood inside. There are no shield batteries, and there are not enough units here to defend this. All of the workers having to get pulled. Some zealots filling the gap here until the pylon can get finished. But there's just so many lings, and this gateway is also fairly low. Most of the tech has been reset, and by that I mean the core has been destroyed. So we won't see any more Adepts. Charge is finished, so these lings can get kind of hunted down. Robo does get depowered, and more lings coming over here. They're going to break through this wall, and they're going to continue streaming in to massacre these probes. 9 workers have already fallen. The Nexus in the main actually taking a fair bit of damage as well. Now the Nexus in the natural going pretty low too. Oh, lings coming in. Will they snipe this Nexus? Looks like they will get the Nexus here. And continued ling production here. We don't see any transition in sight. We've put back on gas here in the Zerg space, and a Roach Warren has gone down, realizing, okay, the only thing my opponent can make are Zealots. What are good against Zealots? Well, Roaches are pretty darn good. And these lings just continuing to pester. Killing workers, killing more Zealots. At this point, the Zerg player is actually ahead in that worker count. 16 more lings. You can see the blue things streaming all the way across the map. They are going to regroup, become a large mob of lings before they run in so they can get the surround. And this is looking pretty grim for our red Protoss player. Come on, Okram, you can finish this. Some more Zealots getting warped in. There's nothing here in the main, and though the other thing this pylon did is it killed half of the production in terms of gateway productions from Sephiroth. These lings are going to come in here and finish this off as well. Still no core here. We do have the Warp Prism trying to get in here and do some damage. It's got a couple Zealots, but with the Roaches and the Queens here, only enough money to warp in one more. That's going to be GG. Okram takes game number 1 for Alpha X. All right. So game number 1 out of the way. Looks like game number 2 is going to be on Zen. And this is going to be a TVT. This is going to be Last Surprise versus Yan XII. Both these players fairly strong Protoss players. Both of them are sitting in that Grandmaster contender right now, about to get promoted in a couple hours. And we will, let me message the admins, make sure that we are all ready for the next game. Yeah, I think that faint third, or that, I guess it was just used for production, right? You know, the Protoss player was like, oh, okay, I can start teching, throwing down the Twilight Council and the Robo, not really making the defenses that they need. Great job by Okram, just realizing that and securing, and just deciding, like, all right, cool, now's my moment, just constantly sending lings across, and just like powering through the wall and then getting on top of the workers. Yeah, actually, I didn't realize how much damage had been dealt to that Nexus in the main before he came back in to snipe it. But even without that, the worker damage, I mean, it was like 19 probes to like the 24, 25 from our Zerg player. So, very well done by Okram. It looks like we are getting ready to climb into this next game. All right, so Last Surprise is in. We have one of our players. We are still waiting for Yan XII. Some banter in here because we're the only folks in. None of the players from Th3Bad have joined the map or the lobby quite yet. It's just Sippy Cup versus Last Surprise. Last Surprise was asking if I was ready to cast a 1v1 between the two of them. You thermal beats can rush with one hand, you can too. Sippy, are you in a cast right now? What happened to your arm? Saying that he broke his arm. Sad day. Sad day indeed. Alright, looks like we have the players in here. Oh man. Last Surprise saying we should play chicken. Force that. It looks like both teams made lobbies separately, and we're like, we'll see if they come to our lobby. To be fair, I did post it in the chat first, so. Looks like we have almost everyone here. Bum, 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 bum. We do have all the players, and we have the casters. We're getting Okram out of here, so that it's just the admins. Oh, good question on what server. I believe the Bad is a Brazilian team, so gotta be careful about, like, you know, which server we're gonna go to. I actually don't know where Last Surprise is located, if he's US West or US East. But in any case, looks like that is all ready to go. We are climbing into this game number 2 between Last Surprise and Yan XII. It's 12, right? It's not 8. I think the I's would go before the X if it was 8. So Yan 12. I think I actually played against this gentleman earlier. Last Surprise, also a wonderful teammate and opponent that we have played against a few times. Speaking of Last Surprise, spawning in the top right-hand side of Zen, it is your purple Protoss, or excuse me, Protoss, your purple Terran representing Alpha X. It is Last Surprise. And spawning in the bottom left, the other Terran, the blue Terran representing the Bad. It is Yan 12. There's Yan the 12th. Looks like we get a gas first out of both players. So far, everything, you know, press F to pay respects. Alpha X fighting. Hey Snoopy, how you doing? All right, so yeah, so far builds exactly identical between our two Terran players. Relatively standard. Second gas is finishing up. Should see a Reaper and then a Factory out of both players here. Factory a hair slider, like a hair faster for Yan. Not a huge deal. Interesting. Okay, so we've got Yan going for the wall at the ramp. Last Surprise opting to put the supply depot right here. Just a little spotter location. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the music volume down a little bit. I think it's a little loud. Reaper jumping over here, scouting for a proxy, making sure nothing of the sort. Yan doing the same thing. Both players very suspicious of one another, but in fact we all know they're doing the same thing, friends. Now, despite the Factory coming down faster here, the next text. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. So we have a command center coming down from Yan, going for the econ route, while Last Surprise opted to go for the tech route. Both players getting their Hellion and 2 Reapers ready. Going for actually possibly a slightly delayed thing where each player is going to have 2 Hellions and 3 Reapers. And as those units pop, they will start going across the map, mayhaps. Liberator coming out first from Last Surprise, and I like that. In the current meta, you don't get too many Marines early, right? You go for these first set of units. So this this Liberator could potentially do a fair bit of damage if the Marine production doesn't start coming out. There's going to be a Cyclone though, so maybe not. Now that we're looking at it. So this economic opening working out very well for Yan. Gets his CC done way faster than Last Surprise. Last Surprise being a little bit too conservative, I think. But he's actually going to clean up all of these units here. These Reapers should be able to pick off the remaining things. And now he can run across the map, and there's not a whole lot here out of our blue Terran. Where did that Liberator go? Oh, here it is. Coming across on the bottom side, so I think this is going to be 2-pronged. pull the army down to the front with the Reapers while going into the back and setting up a liberation zone here. All right, so the Liberator is going to fall here. Some nice pulling out of Yan. But these Reapers and Hellions are up here, and they've gotten a fair number of workers. 5, 6, 7, probably 8, and even a 9th and a 10th. Oh, could have gotten the 10th. Decides better if it pulls back. So that economic advantage that Yan had from having the faster command center kind of thrown away there, and that all was a result of this first fight here, right? Pretty much everything survived from Last Surprise. I think he lost maybe 1 Reaper, and he lost 1 Reaper and 2 Hellions during that fight. The other 2 Hellions died, of course, over here, and he lost the Liberator as well in the main. But well worth it to definitely take himself ahead in the worker count. Now, looks like it's actually... Ooh, gonna lose the Reaper for free there. Still fairly close. Yan making sure to constantly build workers throughout all of that harassment. We do have the 3rd CC coming down from each player. Last Surprise is definitely a lot faster. And I think he was allowed to be that greedy because Yan is on the back foot here. We take a look at some of the other indicators in this matchup. Tank count, we've got 2 tanks for Yan versus the 1 tank of Last Surprise. Both players often go for 2 of the Ravens. 1 Raven across over here. Gonna try to throw down a turret, deny some mining time, maybe kill a worker or 2. It gets 1 worker, I think? No workers. A couple of really red ones. No workers actually down here. And let's just get the lost vision. Not quite able to keep that. His Raven was a little bit slow. Last Surprise doing a great job of just kind of keeping his map presence out here, right? Like he's scouting to see, okay, is the army moving out? Is the 3rd base being taken? Just keeping the Reapers out there. And I really like that from Last Surprise, just knowing what's going on this whole time. Now this Reaper, did he see the gas? He does see the gas going down, and he should see the command center shortly. Raven does make its way out. I think all 3 of those. Yeah, all 3 of those red workers are still alive. Now, command center is down for both these players. Last Surprises is landing a little bit later, but that's because he opted to get the orbital command first. And I really like this play because the entire time that it's floating over, it's accruing energy, right? So it's kind of like, even though you're not over there making workers as fast and mining as fast. Ooh, nice pull in of the Raven, picking off 3 workers here. And is he gonna lose his supply depot? Oh no! Last Surprise, don't do it! Don't lose it! Don't lose it! Oh, a little bit unfortunate there. 4 workers do fall, and this has been some pretty decent harassment out of Yan. You know, absolutely free, taking a little bit of hull damage on this Raven. So we look at the upgrades. Currently, Last Surprise has his stim done and actually no stim on the way. So we're not going to see much bio at all. We see purely Viking tank coming out of Yan. Some Hellions as well. But this is kind of the mech play. Last Surprise moving across the map here. He does have some Marines, but there's a lot of tanks that he would have to push into. And his tanks aren't quite sieged. Although he does have the Ravens there, he does disable all 3 of those tanks, and with that, he can push in here, start sieging his tanks, and start killing these units. The tanks are starting to drop 1 by 1, and Last Surprise is breaking into the 3rd base here of Yan. The Vikings are going to land, and looks like Yan should be able to clean this up. A little bit unfortunate there. Last Surprise down on army supply a little bit. Taking his 4th command center a little bit faster. I think there were a couple of tank shells that landed on the bio. Like if this tank had also been disabled or if it had been killed before the bio ran in, could have been much better for Last Surprise, but as it was, the Vikings killed all of the medevacs and then just landed to destroy those poor tanks. And a little double drop heading across the map here. While at the same time, 4 Hellions are going to run to this third base. Hellion's going to walk in. Siege tanks and Marauders. The concussive shell is done for these Marauders here. So they're going to start pushing that back. And I really like this play. I mean, currently, you know, Last Surprise working on 2-2, whereas his opponent has no upgrades. Tries to come in here and drop a little bit, but there's a lot of units around. Has to pull back. Center tower is starting to get up. He's going to unload and heal these units. Like I said, they came in here, found a tank, and decided that they were going to immediately get picked up and fly away. Last Surprise getting ready to move across the map once more. Finally, some upgrades starting for Yan. Second armory is done, so we should see 1-1. Excuse me. We have the 1 attack, and yeah, there's the second one coming out. Blue Flame finishes right now, so that'll help out with the bio a little bit. These Marauders going to Marauder Marine try to pick off all of these Hellions, and they will succeed. One part of this army is going to run into the top here, while at the same time we should see this army moving in, but it's not quite moving in yet. Ooh, this command center not quite getting sniped here. But with these tanks here, it's going to be a little bit tricky. We do have some... okay, here comes the other drop. We do have some energy on the Raven, so they could get disabled, allowing Yan's tanks to run in. There's a wall of missile turrets here. Last Surprise realizing, okay, well I can't quite fly through that. He is going to walk up and he's going to start powering these things down. Tanks have to fall back a little bit, and this is starting to look even better for Last Surprise. He's got his 4th base up. He's taken down 2 of the missile turrets. A lot of Vikings here, though. Alright, this command center is going to float over here with the Reaper going to spot the command center landing over here. And actually, the 4th command center that was getting made over here had to get canceled. So, Last Surprise definitely in the economic lead. We can also look at the workers, 86 to 69. Last Surprise, as long as he doesn't do anything crazy, and as long as he doesn't do anything crazy, like run all of his units into these siege tanks, I think he's in a very, very strong position in this game. Big boost over here, while at the same time, oh, Liberator going to get down on top of this tank, is going to kill that tank. These units getting dropped on top of all of these siege tanks. Now, if they stemmed forward and ran into these tanks, I think they would be able to survive, but there's more tanks at the bottom, and a few of these tanks rotating over as well. Last Surprise is going to have to fall back, and doing a little bit of trading. You know, both players still around the same supply. Last Surprise up to 92 workers. I don't know if that's the number of SCVs you want. I feel like he should probably stop making workers, and it looks like he has. He's going to float this 5th CC all the way back over here. Decides he doesn't want to take this one, so it's got a long way to go. Scan comes down. He sees this army, and this is a bad position for Yan. Currently unsieged. He's got... Oh, Last Surprise. You got to get forward. You got to get forward onto the tanks. Here he goes. All right. Killing those tanks and falling back. He does have enough tanks of his own to destroy those. We need another scan here. Oh, this tank is in range and is going to kill those tanks. Last Surprise pulling back a little bit. At the same time, we do have a Liberator here. Actually, I missed this. It's killed 10 workers so far. Looks like Last Surprise was a little bit late to notice that, too. Everyone is focused on the engagement. Down here at the bottom, we've got 4 Hellions trying to run in here. 1 siege tank should kind of deter these a little bit, but he has to be careful not to have his siege tanks blow up his own workers. A lot of workers going down here from Last Surprise, so it's a good thing he was up so high in that worker count. 4th base finally taken for Yan. Oh, with the Vikings falling back, he's going to drop some of these. Oh, the Vikings do snipe one of those medevacs that was full of units. And now we're starting to look like we're not in the best of positions here for Last Surprise. He still has the economic advantage here. There's a lot of siege tanks up here at the top. And the Liberators setting up the liberation zones. And with the Vikings, all of these units are probably going to die. Hellions will be able to chase down the stray Marauders. Well, okay. Take that back. They barely survive. I like this. Going for some tanks on the high ground here. Gonna make it hard for Yan to protect those units. Liberator, though, will be able to do that. Last Surprise will have to be very careful. But there's a big push coming across the top here. This is a planetary fortress, and we do have... Oh, there's just so many Vikings. I was going to say we have some Liberators, but the Vikings here are doing a great job of picking those off. This Liberator does kill the thing down there. We do have a nuke coming down. Where is it? Oh, the nuke is right on top of this army. Oh, the Ghost does fall. Last Surprise trying to learn from Vindicta. And the army tab here, supply not looking great for our Purple Terran. He was in a great position earlier, but he lost a bunch of units trying to do some clever two-pronged attacks here. This nuke could do a little bit to equalize the worker counts, but the army supply is the real problem. Okay, workers get pulled. These Hellions don't quite get the kill off on the Ghost. I think these Liberators should be able to pick off this Ghost in time. 1, 2, zap, zap. Nice drops on top of the tanks while they've been left unattended. But at the same time, a Liberator down here at the third, dealing quite a bit of damage to Last Surprise. Currently the workers 57 to 82, and this is starting to look worse and worse for our Purple Terran player. Last Surprise in a lot of trouble. There's so many tanks and so many Vikings. Even with the 3-3 coming down now for Yan, so he will be catching up in those upgrades. I'm not sure what Last Surprise can do. You're just gonna have to get like a massive nuke on all this army or something. But I mean, perhaps if these Vikings overextend on top of stimmed Marines, that could do it. 28 workers have fallen as this base dies. And Yan in a commanding position in this game. Do have a Liberator heading over to this base once more. And at the same time, tanks starting to siege up the main. Last Surprise losing a lot of workers here. Nine workers total are falling. Oh. Okay, he is forcing these units to come home a little bit. The Vikings landing though. There's not a whole lot here. I guess we got the Marauders running up, and they should be able to possibly clean this up. Take a look at this again. Do have these tanks doing a fair bit of work. I would have liked if these drops had been timed out, right? Drop the Marauder, let those siege tanks shoot themselves. Unless, of course, you think that the Marauders all unloading at once can just stim down the units, the tanks. Command center being taken here. Another one heading in this direction. And there's so much blue all over this map. Last Surprise trying his hardest to stay in this, but the mech, so strong. 3-3 finally finishing here for the mech. And I think with this push, Last Surprise is probably going to have to tap out. We have one last final stand here. Can the Stim Marauders get on top of these units and crush them? Liberators setting up their zones here so they'll be able to kill all these workers as they try to mass repair. Okay, Okay, trying to come in from the backside, stims up, kills a couple tanks, but there's just so many tanks here. And sure enough, Yan looking kind of dicey there in the middle, but pulling out the end of this game. Well done. GG is called. And that will take us into game number 3. Game number 3 is going to be on Eternal Empire. It's going to be between Sunny and Allison, meaning this is going to be a PvP. A PvP for the ages. Yeah, great job there by Yan, just sticking it out. He was down, so it was interesting because like the early game things were pretty even, right? The command center went down a little bit faster for Yan, but then Last Surprise got in, did some damage with his Reapers, and at the end of the day, like I think Last Surprise came out a little bit ahead, but then from there, Last Surprise got his third up faster, got the tanks kind of in, or had his Reapers kind of like scouting and got like good positioning. Sunny should be joining soon. Dum, bum, 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 bum. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Last Surprise looked like he was in a really great position, kind of in the mid game there. But once the tank count started getting super high, and Yan was able to kind of entrench himself and like secure his third and then secure his fourth, it was pretty grim for Last Surprise. I apologize for that, friends. I was talking to my partner. We're making our dinner plans. I'm on cooking duty tonight, so I'll be making some okonomiyaki as soon as we finish up here. Looks like all players are in the game, and we are ready to rock and roll. As soon as... Okay, Allison is in Brazil. So I think they're just making sure the servers are all set to East. For those of you just now joining us, this is game number 3 of the Alpha Team League. We're currently tied up 1-1. Alpha X versus Th3Bad. We are climbing into this next game on Eternal Empire. Sip kept warning the players that he's going to have to leave as soon as the game starts. He's been having a little bit of lag issues. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, this is a PvP. Yep. The next one is going to be a TVP. But this game... Protoss versus Protoss. We'll have to see what these cheeky players have in store for one another. Speaking of these players, let's go ahead and introduce them. Spawning in the top right-hand side of Eternal Empire, it is your red Protoss player representing Th3Bad. It is Allison. And in the bottom left, representing Alpha X, it is your blue Protoss player. It is none other than Sunny. So no pylon scouting here, so I don't think we're going to see any cannon rushes on this map. Looks like Sunny in position to go ahead and drop this gateway a little bit faster. And actually elects not to go for the gateway scout either. Just going to chrono boost probes, take his gas, do all the normal things. Allison getting their gas here as well. Should see another gateway come down from each player, followed by a core. Very standard openings. Getting those 2 gateways. The real question, the deviation most likely starts when they have to pick what units they're going to make, right? If you want to be more aggressive, you can go for the 2 adepts and send those across the map. More defensive, you go for like a Stalker Sentry. There's also Stalker. Both players getting their cores down. This probe taking a little bit of an awkward path here, and I'm wondering if we are going to see a proxy robo, friends. Very popular in this matchup. It's going to be proxy something. Pylon is down here for Allison. And this probe for Sunny is going to roll up, and it's going to see that only 1 pylon is in the main base. It's going to be like, all right, where's your other pylon? Then go, okay, I guess we're doing it. Get ready for the proxy. Could be a starport. That's certainly an option. Get that faster oracle into the main. But it is the robo, like I mentioned earlier. I think this is the more popular build in the current meta for PvP. Now this pylon here doing a little bit of blocking. It's not really going to do anything besides allow Sunny to see what these first 2 units are. And actually, they're not gonna come out before he cancels it. Usually the pylon timing is such that you can do that. Okay, this probe is going to fall. Oh, is Sunny gonna see this? This worker. Is it pathed? Oh no, don't change your mind. Oh, okay, he is gonna walk right past it and find it. So be aware. The question is, does he know what he needs to do? Okay, so he sees, the robo sees that it is getting chrono boosted. And he's gonna go ahead and choose to send these adepts across the map? Question mark? No, he's gonna keep them at home. And the problem is he doesn't know what the first 2 units were from Sunny, right? Or from Allison. Like Sunny is, didn't get to see those because they were a little bit later. Allison actually full walling here, does not want to let adepts in when they're not paying attention. And we see the robotics bit coming down as well. So likely a disruptor follow-up. Immortal coming out here for Sunny. Now there's a few more units here, but we do have a battery. These adepts are going to show up and find a wall, so they'll have to start hitting that wall. Warp gate just now finishing. Adepts realizing, all right, crap, we're not going to be able to get in there and get any damage done. Do have the prism out for Allison. Be able to micro those immortals slightly better. A couple of zealots getting warped in here as well. And I'm wondering what Sunny is planning to do with this pylon. Now, Sunny, moving forward a little bit here, shouldn't get too aggressive here. Needs to keep these units alive. Currently, there's more immortals here. With the prism unfolded, I really would like this immortal to catch up with the rest of the army. Okay, kind of poking and pulling back here. Very tense situation. This is all going to come down to which player can focus fire a little bit better and who can prism control. Now, I think this army actually is slightly better for Sunny. The 1 sentry in here is going to be able to drop a Guardian Shield, which will help against all the Stalkers. And this Adept will be able to do some damage here as well. Alright, he's going to pop the Guardian Shield and going to start doing stuff. But there is the Disruptor here. It was well hidden. Nice Disruptor shot there. Very smart by Allison. And Sunny going to have to fall back. Now, Sunny did get a Stargate, and this is going to allow for the counter Disruptor play. All you have to do is lift that Disruptor, and it will cancel the shot. Well, we need to drop that unit here. Okay, going to cancel that. Alright, so we do have 1 Phoenix out here for Sunny. This does mean that Sunny can start lifting one of the Disruptors, but he doesn't have enough to lift both of them. Oh, he is going to go ahead and send the double Immortals over there. And I like that. He's going to depower this Robo Bay. Oh, huge supply block here. Going to mean that this this disruptor is not going to live, and I don't think we have any more probes out on the map. Disruptor's up here, and it's all going to come down to whether or not Sunny can hold here, but his production, he only has one gateway, a robo, and the Stargate at this point. It's going to be kind of dicey here. Needs to bring that Warp Prism back with the 2 Immortals in it. Here it comes. This is going to be a close one. It is going to all come down to the disruptor shots and the engagement. There's no shield battery for either player here. Mortal count slightly favoring Sunny. Nice, going to run in here and start focusing down some units, pulling the probes to start fighting. Doesn't quite get the Prism Micro that he needs to. And a disruptor shot, going to take out one Stalker. Not the biggest disruptor shot here. He's microing these Immortals to the best of his ability, but there's too many Stalkers, and I think Allison has done it. Broken through. All of the workers have fallen for Sunny. And the Bad going to take game number 2 in this series, bringing them up 2-1 against Alpha X. Well executed there by Allison. A little bit of a supply block there, and then letting those Immortals come around and depower the Robo wasn't great. But as soon as Allison realized that the Immortals were out of position, Allison was able to just push up the ramp and start taking the production structures, those 2 gateways at the front, and then start taking down the army, right? The Warp Prism was able to unfold, start making more units. Sunny couldn't really walk forward to try to snipe it because of the disruptors, so very well done by Allison. And this does mean that we are going to move into game number 4 here. It's going to be a PvT between Veritas and Gauss. And the question is, will Alpha X tie up the series in this game, or will and take us to game number 5, or will the Bad sweep, well not sweep, but take games 2, 3, and 4? Bum bum bum. Waiting for the next map here, friends. All right. Looks like we have the next game ready to go here. This is going to be on Nightshade. Like I said, a TVP. The Terran Veritas representing Alpha X, and Gauss, the Protoss for the Bad. Looks like we have all the players in the lobby. Gauss needing a second before we climb into this next game. Nightshade is an interesting map. I think it's not. I mean, it's not. Obviously, it's not as interesting or not as crazy as like Golden Wall or Purity and Industry were last season. This map has like a pretty large main. There's a nice Reaper wall for Protoss. So. You know, just gonna understand why you gave him so by update. For those of you who are unaware, they did do a slight patch for today. This fixed the issues where with the new skin, the gateways just like looked like they were like finishing production every 2 seconds. Like you just start the gateway and it's like, I'm done, I'm done. And then the shield batteries actually, as you dragged, if you like went to go make a shield battery but didn't actually click to make it, if you dragged it around your screen, it would leave like a black shadow like everywhere that you dragged it. So that was obviously less than ideal. I still think they need to fix the planetary fortress versus regular command center on the classic command center skin. Those of you who haven't seen it, go check out. There's a Reddit post that someone made, and they look, for all intents and purposes, identical, right? You basically the same thing, but there's 2 little silver lines sticking out, and those are like the cannons for planetary. But other than that, like the 2 structures look the same. So it's pretty unfortunate if you're like, oh, here's a freshly landed command center. Let me just like run my units in to go kill it, and then like the command center starts shooting you. You're like, well, that was a planetary. I thought wrong. But we are still waiting on Gauss. Should be starting up shortly here. Man, we should have just held our MMR. We were up to 50-55 earlier today, and then we played a bunch of games and lost a bunch of MMR. Now we're down below 4.9k. Sad day in a life. How you doing, Bibs? Currently, Alpha X is down 2-1 against Th3Bad. We are waiting. Actually, I guess you're. I'll just respond in chat because there's 2-minute delay. Still waiting on Gauss to come back. Players talking about the servers here. All of the players for Th3Bad currently in Brazil, so we are playing on the Eastern server. We are still waiting on Gauss. And you know what? To kill some time here, we'll bust out this. We'll do a little bit of yo-yoing for the fans. Just try to keep you entertained. Actually, do I have like a? Do I have this? This? Ah, yeah. There we go. Boom. Do a nice big screen of me. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, it's cropped to fit inside the thing. So while we wait for this next match, We'll do some yo-yoing. Those of you that are unaware, one of my, I don't know if I'd call it a talent, but one of my hobbies in addition to playing StarCraft is yo-yoing. Although I haven't been practicing as much as I used to. I've been focusing a lot more on StarCraft. Ooh. Oh. And because of that, we're missing things like that. Oh, come on. Ooh, there you go. Oh, come on. There we go. Do some front mount stuff. We're just kind of killing time right now while we wait for the players to get ready for their match. Oh man, we're coming up on 2 minutes. I can start to see myself yo-yoing. Veritas getting giddy. Still waiting on the players. Hold on just a sec. Oh, typing that not in the right spot. Ooh, all right. Well, Gauss having to resolve some personal issues. Looks like they should be all set. Okay, all the players are in the game. We are ready to go. Do I also cube? I do. All right, here we go. And the game is live. Yeah, I have, do I have one within arm's reach? I've got several Rubik's Cubes. I think they're all over there. But I'm sure you saw my shirt. And that is what made you think of it. In any case, let's climb into this next game. This is going to be that promised PVT between Gauss and Veritas on Nightshade. And here we go, friends. Spawning in the top left-hand side, representing Gauss, trying to take this match. It is, representing the bad, it is Gauss. And in the bottom right, trying to keep Alpha X's dreams in this series alive, it is your blue Terran player, Veritas. I like this hype music. Bum, 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 bum. So we do see standard openings here. Got our Reaper Wall on the way for Gauss, doing a Gateway Scout. Barracks coming down before Gas here from Veritas. Everything fairly normal. Alright, we should see a core come down. Should actually probably get placed right here. Well, alright.
Oh wait, this is weird.
Okay, no, this works. This works totally. Yeah, because the Reaper, I don't think it can jump up right there. This is slightly different than how I do it. Probe over here, doing a great job of just annoying the Terran player. And it is going to see that there's a Reaper first, which means that the Adept that comes out here from Gauss can make its way straight across the map. It's like aware that, hey, nothing's going to come to my mineral line. I don't need to be worried. We do have a reactor coming up. This probe just going to kind of sit here, look for the third base, see if it comes down. Obviously, that won't be for a little while, but Nexus in Command Center finishing up soon. Probe's going to poke its head in here, confirm that the Command Center is still here, that there's no crazy all-in, and actually sees, alright, we've got a bunker. I don't think it poked its head high enough up the ramp. Oh, it did. It did. It came up here and did scout the reactor in the factory. So I imagine this is going to lift soon, and we'll have our factory landing here to make reactored Hellions. Starport coming down now as well. This Adept going to get denied any further vision, but does see, of course, that the factory has landed. Now, I guess technically this could be 2 mines for like a double mine drop, but the I think the more standard thing, maybe not more standard, but thing that I typically run into are these Hellions first. We do see the 2 mines coming out next. Those are going to get loaded into a medevac here. And we do have a nice little wall here. It's going to prevent these Hellions from getting in and doing any real damage. Blink is on the way for our Protoss hero. Starting right here. These Hellions just going to sit here and say, okay, I'll just wait here for you to take your third. And usually as a Protoss, you want to be dropping that third Nexus sometime around maybe like 4.5, 5 minutes. This probe actually... Oh, okay, I was going to say looking to go take it, but not quite. Okay, and here is that medevac with the mines that I was talking about. Now, I believe what we're going to see is we're going to see some mines drop in here, and then as the workers get pulled back and as these units start to run over to defend, the Hellions possibly try to run in, but actually no, looking like he's not going to try to do any two-pronged shenanigans. Simply going in with the mines. Stalkers are all located right here, waiting for the mine to come into the main, but of course the mine is actually going to the natural here, and here comes the run. Okay, the Stalkers actually picking off that first medevac, and they'll be able to get on top of this mine. Ooh. Mine shot still actually decent, getting 3 workers here, but definitely not the damage that I think it could have had had Gauss not been paying attention. Probe is now going over here. It's that 5-minute mark. It's going to try to drop that Nexus. Blink is done, allowing this probe to stay safe. And we do have the Robobay finishing up. So we'll have to see if it's going to be Colossus coming up next, or Disruptor. Nice observer placement here, checking for any further things. This observer does see this Hellion, so these Stalkers are going to walk up and they're going to slay it. With this observer, Gauss can actually be a little bit aggressive with these Stalkers if he chooses to. Marines, tanks. There's going to be Colossus first out of Gauss. Stim and combat shields coming down for our Terran player. Should see reactored medevacs shortly. Gauss's observer gonna get in here and see. It will get scanned down. Good job by Veritas, watching his minimap, seeing the little blur and knowing, all right, I gotta kill this observer. Little stalker hit squad, gonna move out. Gonna try to kite this bio army back as it moves out. And actually, I don't think the army is going to move out. These stalkers should be very careful. They are inside of siege tank's range, yeah. So they're going to see that. He's gonna have to blink back. Again, good vision coverage here from Gauss. Setting up to take this third command center. It is floating from the main, already turned into an orbital. These suckers have to be pretty careful here. Siege tank and all this bio, yeah, they're not going to be able to get anything done. That charge is just about finished. Extended thermal lance getting started, and +1 attack coming down. Looks like we're starting to mix in storm as well. I want to start that tech now so we don't get caught later. I'm surprised we don't have charge quite yet. Oh, charge just finished, excuse me. My apologies. I was going to say charge should be done. All right, we do have a big move out here. And these suckers want to try to do some damage to this army, and they already have simply by forcing it to stim. Stim will run off in a moment, and so he should turn around to try to kite a little bit more. You want to do as much damage to these units before the siege tanks can line up. But with 2 Colossi, might be able to just kind of shred through all this bio. One mine, both mines do go down here. You're going to see Gauss fall back a little bit. Veritas pushing forward with all this bio is going to get on top of these production structures. The tanks on the low ground doing a great job of zoning out the charge lots. Now, Veritas doesn't need to end the game here. He's taking his base behind this. He's just trying to get some damage done. All right, gonna run forward, getting a little bit ambitious with that bio, trying to kill these Colossi, but nice prism control saves both of those. 2 more medevacs full of bio flying across the map here. Oh yeah, a little bit overeager, and now this is the cue the Protoss needs to just move forward and crush through this army. Can't quite blink on top of this medevac to get the kill. He should see this with his observer, and yes, you will start pulling this army back. Veritas starting up his 4th command center and a warp prism floating across the map. Oh, the scan not quite revealing this observer here. So Gauss thinking, all right, I'm safe, I can do this. 4th Nexus is coming down now for Gauss. Veritas, did I say Veritas earlier? If I said Gauss, I meant Veritas. Okay, this Marine does kind of scout that this army is moving forward, and as it does, he decides to unload here in the base, but there's a lot of stalkers and some charge lots ready to go. This mine does go off, does get a kill on some of these units, but these 3 remaining units are going to be able to get some damage done here. We do have an armory. So, with the new patch, these are invisible mines. And this observer, ooh, I don't think Gauss knows that this is around, and this mine is going to immediately just shoot and do a fair bit of damage here to these probes. Okay, getting 6 workers there, and another, ooh, not quite going to get any more out of this. Still not too shabby. But in terms of army, this is a scary, scary Protoss army. Our Terran player here on bio with a couple of Vikings. And we've got Storm and Colossus, 3 Colossi. How many High Templar? 6 High Templar here. All of them with enough energy to storm. Okay, trying to pick off the Warp Prism. That would mean that the aggression doesn't get as far. And another set of workers do fall here to this mine. Very well done here by Veritas, or I guess poorly done here by Gauss, not realizing that those mines are still there. Gonna lose some workers that he didn't need to. I like that Veritas moved this. He's gonna need a couple more, only 2, but he still has to survive this army, and this is a scary, scary army, friends. This command center does have to lift. Is going to try to fly back, but I think with all the stalkers and the Archons here, I don't know if it will survive. Vikings do get in here and pick off that warp prism. That's fairly big. That means we're not going to be able to juggle this Colossi back, and we won't be able to make any more units here. Guardian Shield does come down. Storm, not really landing on much. And this command center didn't die. It's actually not even burning. So, good job. This mine, value mine, getting another 3 workers there. Zealot, cheeky Zealot does force cancel. And I like how Gauss is sending some of these Zealots all around to just kind of, spot for stuff. Little hit squad coming up from Veritas is going to get scouted by this observer, so it should die fairly quickly. This command center is safe to come back down and land. It's going to split up. And Veritas scanning, seeing, okay, 4th base is down. I can try to push for that. This army was out of position. So he's aware, okay, this is where the army is. Scanning to confirm that that is all of the army. There's just so much storm here, though. The 6 High Templar have just been accruing storm, and there's a lot of Marines here. I'm a little bit afraid for our Terran player. Normally, if you're playing Bio against this kind of composition, you want to be up in supply. But right now, Veritas is actually down in supply. Charge lots do run by here, getting 5 workers. Ultimately, they are cleaned up here. And I think Veritas does the wise play of pulling back. This Marine actually running in here, picking off a worker. Oh, a little bit of a move command here. Okay, there we go. Or maybe they're attacked to this pylon. Ghost coming up here. And do we have any nukes? Nice snipe coming down, picking off one of those High Templar. Forcing a cancel here at this base. Now these units are going to die, but at the same time we got another charge lot run by. 6 workers have fallen to these units already. I think they were over on this side. And Veritas doing a good job of just constantly sending a few workers across, or a few Zealots to just be annoying and get these units. 3 Zealots here to protect this from any more small incursions or excursions. This army is still looking very, very scary. We've got disruptors, so all 4, if you count Archons, form. Oh no! Okay, 1 nice EMP. Gonna get some of those units, but a lot of the High Templar are safe in that Warp Prism. This command center does go down, and I think this is going to be it with all of these different forms of AoE. Well, okay, the Bio does pick off a lot of the AoE here, but at the same time, we're losing all of these workers to some DTs and Zealots over in the main. The main army is picked off, so I mean, Veritas is ahead in army supply. But he only has 28 workers to 75. These Zealots and DTs just running train on these different bases while the fight was going on. And Veritas continuing to lose even more here. Does pick off that unit, and behind all of this, Veritas continuing to just make his disruptors, make a couple more High Templar, make some more Stalkers. Eesh. 43 workers have fallen. This one DT, 18 kills. The Zealot's getting the rest of it. Veritas needs to push in, but I don't know if this Bio army is enough. He's got a Liberator, but there's some Blink Stalkers. If we look at the upgrades, Terran is ahead. 3-3 versus 2-2. 3-3 is on the way here. Liberator is going to set up here, and this poor Disruptor is going to die. These units can't go too far away. This one TT is still getting kills, up to 32, 33. This Nexus is going to fall here. But I think, oh, nice EMP is there. Oh, but a fair number of units falling to that Disruption Nova. Now, the only forms of AoE that are remaining here are these 2 Disruptors. A ton of High Templar are getting warped in here, and they are turning into Archons. Nice EMP taking out the shield on all of these units here. Does he have any more? He does have some more EMPs. Should be able to take the shields out on those Archons. but now having to fall back. Stalkers and Archons are going to clean up most of this biome. Okay, maybe not. Veritas needs to kill the Colossus, and he does. Only Disruptors remaining here, but another huge round of charge lots coming in with a couple of Stalkers here. Now, with the one Stalker dead, this one Liberator going to be able to continue getting damage done. This Hero DT, though, almost 40 kills. And all of these units having to get lifted up, fall back over here. Overcharge is used. Veritas on 6 workers right now to the 57, 41 supply to the 103. This is going to be a very amazing comeback if it can happen. Mules are pretty good, but with the DTs here, and those Blink Stalkers coming forward, I think Veritas is going to have to GG. And the Bad, Gauss rather, from the Bad, will take game number 4. This does mean that the Bad will win 3-1 in today's series. And that's going to wrap it up for us here. I'm going to go ahead and let the stream catch up before I go raid someone. And let's take a look at who we have live to go raid. We'll see if there's anyone from the team who's currently streaming. Doesn't really look like it. So, yeah. Oh, actually, wait. Is this... I think maybe Gavinator777 is Phobia from Alpha X. If so, we'll go ahead and raid Gavinator from the stream. Good games by all players here. Like I said, the Bad did end up taking the series. And right now we're just kind of killing time.